Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me once again for Get Your Money Right with Yvonne. I'm Yvonne. And for those of you looking for the place to save money for retirement, you are indeed in the right place. So we're going to start this the way we always do by me asking you, how are you doing? How are you faring? How is it going? We're well into the new year. And how's it going? I mean, is it going the way you had hoped? What are your plans? What are you looking at? What are you thinking? And I always like to ask that question because we're all busy, right? We all have things to do. We all have challenges. But I think it's just important for us to reach out and just ask other people, how are you doing? Because oftentimes that question isn't asked. Folks are struggling. And if they knew that they had support, they could make choices that are good for them. They would feel good about life. So I just always want to do that. And this being a really supportive community, consider joining, and we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it at the end. You just watch this, see what you think, and if you'd like to join us, we would just love to have you. So, how are things going for me? Things are going fine. I have no complaints. We all have those complaints. We all have stuff going on, obviously, but nothing I haven't already put a plan in place to address. And for me, that's the main thing, because you can't do anything about problems and challenges except for figure out a way to address them. And like I said, I got a plan in place and I'm okay with it. So, what I am wondering about for you is, how are your expenses going? Every few months, I look at that. I look at my contributions to my retirement account, and I have to make decisions. And how is that looking for you? And I'm hoping, like crazy, that you're staying on track, that you're not allowing what's going on in the world to get you off track. We have to take care of today, absolutely. We also have to take care of tomorrow. And I'm just wondering about that because, in previous shows, I told you one of the things I had to do was make a change with my auto insurance. And I had to do that. It was a great price when I started. Then it was going up and up and up, like expenses tend to do. I get that. Things change. But it got to the point where for me, I was, I stretching so far to try to make the premium payments that I was like, I have to make some other decisions. I loved the team that I was working with. They were great, but it had become unaffordable for me, for us to continue with that company. And so I made some calls. Did I call anybody? I don't think I called anybody. I went online to see who had what. And I found one that was affordable. It was beyond affordable. It was such a great price that, I just couldn't pass it up. So I went ahead and I signed up, and then I had to go to my previous carrier, and they were so wonderful. And I said, I really hate to leave you guys. And our agent said, well, next time, let us know. I'm like, well, if all I had to do was tell you this was too high, shouldn't you have been staying on top of that for me? Maybe not. I mean, maybe that's the thing right there. Nobody really cares as long as you are paying your premiums and they're getting their commissions, that, hey, keep going as long as you can. So maybe next time I can talk to her before, but like I said, it was 3 times, the previous was 3 times what I am paying now. Okay. And the thing about that is, so I pay every 6 months. I put money away, and it makes it cheaper if you pay for it up front. So I do it every 6 months. And I just got the notification that in March it will go up $50 for the term. So it's like, okay, so it begins. So what will it creep every year up to $100? I don't know. We'll just see. I will keep an eye on it because that's what we have to do with our expenses. Because just knowing that they aren't going to be, your manager is not going to be looking at what you're paying and helping to keep you on track. That's up to us. Okay, now I know. Okay, so doing that, and it's going to go up, and that's okay. I will. Okay, so whatever, we'll keep it going, and when it gets to be too high, then I will be looking at other options, because when it gets right down to it, you're doing the blank sheet of paper, right? For those of you just joining us, what I mean by that blank sheet of paper, let me just get something out for you here, one without all my scribbles on it. Blank sheet of paper here, where that first line, you're putting down how much you're bringing in each month. The second line is pay yourself first. So that's any sort of savings, emergency savings, if you're putting money away for whatever. Just make sure you are doing pay yourself first. And that paycheck, when you get it, it already has your retirement money taken out of it. So let's stop ourselves right there. You are signed up for some sort of a retirement account, right? If not, please, whatever you do, get on that. And, it doesn't matter where you start. It just matters that you're consistent with it. And you don't let anything dissuade you from making those contributions. Because, really that's the only way for us. I was fortunate that I had a pension from a previous employer. I have that. Social Security will be available in some form. We don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but there'll be something there. And then the bulk of it really has to come from what you've saved for yourself. So the sooner you start and the more consistently you are making contributions to that account, the better. Please, please, please. And so many people will ask me, Yvonne, so what do I start with? And it's a personal decision, but if you're going to force me to pick a number, 5%. Start there. Are you going to feel it a little bit? Yeah, a little. I won't lie to you. I'll never lie to you here. I will tell you that when I first signed up for a 401k and I put in 5% and I felt it. The employer that I was at that time, you had to be employed for a year before you could sign up. So it's like, okay, we'll as soon as I can, I will do it. And I did. And so 5%. So yeah, I felt it. I had to make some adjustments, but I was okay. You get used to it after a while. Remember that. You're going to get used to it. So get that started. So then, you got your paycheck. Pay yourself first. Whatever you do, when you have to find money somewhere, don't take it from the pay yourself first. You are as important as your bills, if not more so. Okay? So make sure to take care of yourself. Then you're going to go down the list and you're going to have all your bills. And if you get to the end of that list, you've tallied everything up and you're short, you're going to do what I did. You're going to look at your expenses and go, where can I make adjustments? Where do I make changes? How do I save some money out of all of this? And once you do that, you will shore up your finances. So, please, whatever you do, take care of that. I tend to look at it every few months. You get into a rhythm, and as long as there aren't any changes, then you're not really too concerned with staying right on top of it. But you need to know what your finances are. So just make sure you do that. And the other part of that, now you guys tell me what you're thinking, because when I go to the store, some of the stuff I used to always get double the price. And then I have to just kind of back away. I go, do I really need this? No. Um, you've no other choice. You're going to have to make the decision to back away, make a different choice. Like, I'm trying to think. I do a lot of generics now. It used to be the name brands, and sometimes you could taste the difference. Not always, but sometimes you could. And I had to make that decision that, okay, for my own finances, I'm going generic. And you might not know this, but many of the generics out there, they come from the name brand places. Bet you didn't know that. They come from the name brand, but they are put in generic to be on the shelves. For I know Target does it, I know Walmart does it, and there's some other places too, obviously. But just keep that in mind. Comparison shop. Do that as much as you possibly can, because there's nothing we can do about the prices of things, but we can make other choices, other selections. Because I'm just I you have to take care of you. You have to take care of your family. You have to take care of your future. And whatever choices you need to make is what you make. I know a friend of mine, he's in Florida. He was leaving the grocery store one day and he saw this family. They had a loaded up shopping cart. And he went over and, struck up a conversation with them. And I think they said they had 4 children and that they had spent $600. I can see where that could potentially happen. Now I'm going to walk that back just a little bit. Did they plan what they were going to shop for? And I know many people don't. They just go to the store and they go up and down the aisles and they go, oh, that looks good, that looks good. They throw it in their basket, not really paying attention to how much they're spending. Do you always go to the store with a list? I do. Because, I keep X amount of dollars to go grocery shopping, to whatever. And I have to stay within my budget. I was just so thrilled. All my bills came in not too long ago. And what I had budgeted, whether it be grocery shopping, any shopping at all, I have a certain amount that I allow myself to spend throughout the month. And I came within $2 of it. And I was so thrilled. My husband just looked at me like, honey, please. But, I was just so happy that I stayed on track. And that's what this whole business of preparing for your future is all about. Just staying on track, just doing what you need to do for yourself. Okay? So, with that, we try to keep these, the 12 to 15-minute range. So, I'm looking at our time and thinking, okay, I should think about wrapping this up. And, at the very beginning, I said, if you'd like to become a part of this community, again, we would love to have you. You see where it says subscribe. Click that, follow the prompts. And just so you know, this is how it works. First of all, there will never be a charge. I will never ask you for money for this content, ever, ever, ever. I do this because I wished that there had been somebody talking to me about money, about finances, about looking out for myself and for my future. And I didn't have a whole lot of options. There are a lot of people out there who will talk to you about these different things. But again, I didn't find anybody who really spoke my language, if that makes any sense. They were primarily talking to people making well over $150,000. And the other thing was they were saying, those money managers, that if you have any sort of debt, you should not be contributing to your retirement account, which I was like, back up on that. Because so many of us middle income people, we're always going to have debt of some sort. We need to manage it. We need to take care of it, but we also need to prepare for the future. So you can't tell us, don't do it, because if I did that, I would never stop working because I couldn't afford to, because I didn't take care of myself. And No, no. We, I can do both. I've figured out what that balance is. You'll figure it out for yourself too. And it'll be good. And we would just love to hear from you, whether it be a thumbs up, whether it be a comment of some sort, because there have been comments that have come from one of the shows that I've produced. And I go, oh, that's interesting. I never thought about that. And I will do a show on that. Of course, I will never mention your name, but just know that I'm listening. Okay. And, with that, I thank you so very much for joining me for Get Your Money Right with Yvonne. I'm Yvonne. And until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of others. Please just be good. Okay. Take it easy. Bye.